I'm now joined by APC's lawyer Osman Timbo, flag bearer aspirant. Lawyer Timbo is here to talk about his 10-point plan for national renewal. Unite the APC and the nation, enforcement of law and order, fight against corruption, and the war on drugs, strategic development planning, economic transformation, effective decentralization, fisheries, agriculture and tourism, education reform, healthcare improvement, infrastructure expansion, and a women and youth-led nation, among other things. Good morning, Lawyer Timbo. It's a pleasure having you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you too.
This sounds like a lot, actually. Can you please take us through briefly the 10-point agenda? What is it about, exactly?
So, firstly, let me say that this is just part of the things I feel we should do to renew the hopes of the people of this country as it relates to aspirations to develop this nation. I also want to make it very clear that this is not a manifesto, because the manifesto belongs to the political party. And when I emerge as the flag bearer of the APC, we will sit together and put a manifesto. But what is contained there are basic principles which I believe should be included in whatever manifesto we're going to do. Like you said, firstly, it's about uniting the party and the nation. You know, we want to use the APC as the vehicle for development in this nation. We've been grappling with disunity. Everybody talks about it. Whoever you invite here, whether they're from the APC side or the other side, or even people who are not political, will tell you that they feel there's a division. So within the APC now, we've heard that over 20-something people have expressed interest in running for the leadership of the APC. That's apart from those who are also expressing interest in running for lower-level positions as well as national office positions. You know, it's becoming a bit toxic, even though I feel it's not as bad as previous elections. But the first thing we need to do is to unite the party, because a united party, when we take governance in 2028, then we'll try to also unite the nation if we're united. So for me, the first thing is unite the party. And for me, I don't want to wait until that time when I become the flag bearer. I've already started doing it. I have a cordial relationship with all those who've expressed interest. I also try not to preach anything tribal or regional. And that's something also that I feel we should have in the APC. With the lower level elections coming up, we should ensure that every part of the country, every tribe feels like the APC is theirs. We call it the All People's Congress. Then definitely its complexion should also reflect that. You should not think it's a Northwestern or Western area party. It should have people from the Southeast, the Northwest, women, etc., etc. And also, we need to have a level playing field. Because if you're talking about unity, if you're talking about peace, it's only when people feel that they are not disadvantaged in any way that whatever peace you try to preach to them, they'll accept. Then to the nation, there are many missteps that I feel President Bio did when he took power, which we should do differently. You remember when they came with the GTT report, you remember things like President Bio said, like, APC is not good for themselves, APC native man them, you know, started running after people, seizing their passports. Everybody started feeling jittery, you know, sacking people just because they feel like, oh, they're from this particular ethnic group or this particular region. Those are things that cause problems. So for us, I feel once we take power, we should not do those things. You know, we should not, especially from the presidency, such rhetoric should not be done. Okay, also additionally, you will talk about the commissions of inquiry. Commissions of inquiry in a place where we have the Anti-Corruption Commission, which has similar powers to prosecute people who've engaged in corrupt activities at whatever level. That would have done well rather than being in commission of inquiry and all those things. So also policies like no one particular tribe should have more than 25% in governance. No one tribe should have less than 5%. You know, in that way, every tribe, every person, every gender feels like they're involved. So that's the unity part of it. I don't know if I'll be able to talk about all 10, or if you want to talk
but just the
about
most important
specific
ones.
All of them are important. But the next one has to do with enforcement of law and order,
Okay.
The fight against corruption and drugs. Sierra Leone is not short of laws. We have a lot of laws that should be able to deal with everything, things as small as people littering the streets. If these laws are properly enforced, then definitely we'll not have problems with corruption, problems with drugs, etc., etc. So for me, I feel the willingness, the political will is not there to ensure that things go right in this nation. So for me, I feel it's not about enacting new laws, but enforcing these laws. It includes reform of institutions like the police, like the judiciary, like the Office of National Security, etc., etc. It includes training of them. It includes properly equipping them. You know, so it's not just about looking at what they're not doing, but also what the needs are. Give them these needs, train them properly, prepare them for the enforcement of laws. At the same time, you empower the Anti-Corruption Commission, whether it's through legislative reforms, legislative enhancements, you do that and empower them as well as the police to ensure that law and order is maintained. We also need to understand that it is not just talk. You have to live it. I remember when President Bio, I'm talking about President Bio because we're talking about this present time. When President Bio came, you see he went to E building, checking on workers. Since that time that he went there, has he been going there again?
They stopped.
He stopped. When he came, rush of blood, they said, Saturday cleaning. What has happened to that? No one hears about those things. So if you put in those things, don't just do them for political gains. Do them because you're sincere about them, and consistency helps. Human beings by nature, we are corrupt. Human beings by nature, we are barbaric. So what you have to do is you have to push them. You know this thing of carrot and stick that I talk about all the time? I don't like using the phrase like benevolent dictator, but someone needs to actually lead by example. And that is what our leaders have lacked.
Okay.
Even looking at how the leaders live their personal lives, that's leading by example. If you cannot put your house in order, how can you put a nation in order? So for me, these are some of the things. And the fight against drugs, like I said again, it's enforcement. I can tell you the laws are there to prevent this proliferation of harmful substances in Sierra Leone. But if the police are serious, if we're politically serious about it, then we can fight against drugs. At the same time, in the fight against drugs, it's not just the punitive side, it's also the curative and preventive side. You know, there are many people who have fallen to this drugs thing, menace. Rehabilitation is important. Rehabilitation centers, hospitals that will take care of those people. We need to look at that also. I want to talk about one very important one, which you call the strategic plan. It is a national development plan for me. What the national development plan will do is it will set the short, medium, and long-term plans of goals of this nation. It should be an all-inclusive one. If you talk to the chief minister now, I see he's talking about a national development plan that they have. Ask them how much consultations they did with political parties, civil society organizations, journalists, lawyers, etc., the ordinary people, traditional people, local council people. So for me, I believe within the first 100 days in governance, we all should sit together, all political parties, traditional societies, religious societies, all different strata of the society as in age demographics. We sit, disabled people, we sit and plan and say, this is what we want to do in the next, in the first 1-2 years. That's a short term. This is what we want to achieve as a nation in the next 5-10 years. That's the medium term. This is where we want our nation to be in the next 20-25 years. For me, once everybody comes to the table, within the first 100 days, we sit and put that together. We take that to Parliament. We legislate it it becomes law just like the Constitution, then this kills the need for political parties to be bringing manifestos. Like you're asking me, what's my manifesto? What's the APC manifesto? What's the SLPP manifesto? We should move beyond that. We should know that within the first 5 years, if APC is in power, this, and this are the plans for us. When SLPP comes, they will say, okay, APC has done this, let's continue with this. We should not forget that government or governance is continuity. It's not like what SLPP is doing now, it's not SLPP, it is the government of Sierra Leone. What APC did was the government of Sierra Leone. What SLPP did wrong when they came was that all with APC doing a rubbish with a scrap on. So what that causes is a stop-start system, and that is what we need to stop in this nation. APC is in power, we do this. SLPP come, they say, oh, no, we're going back. We're going to do something different. That causes problems. So for me, that's a very important thing that we have to deal with.
Sounds like collaborative governance to me.
Absolutely.
Are you proposing power sharing in any way?
No. It's not power sharing.
Okay.
It's not power sharing. When APC is in power, APC should rule.
Okay.
When the SLPP is in power, SLPP should rule. However, this does not mean in constituting a small cabinet, because for me, I feel the cabinet is bloated. In constituting a small government, you should not just think about party colors in appointing people. You should prioritize competence over paddy business and affiliation. So for me, that is what is important. You can be apolitical, but at the same time, if I feel you're the right person to deliver in that particular place, then we should put you there. The next thing we have to do is economic revitalization. Quite recently, the Minister of Finance read the budget speech in Parliament. Let's accept it that we have a very terrible economic situation in this nation. Sierra Leone has a debt of over $3.2 billion. 1.8 billion external debt, 1.4 billion internal debt. Anybody who is going to take governance, it will not be an easy task for them. So we have to be sincere. Sierra Leone depends a lot on taxes and handouts. I call them handouts because we don't become a bigger nation. Every time we go to the IMF, we go to World Bank, we go to all these international institutions asking for funds, budgetary support. Have we asked the question, how much are we generating locally? I know from January to September last year, I think we raised about 14 point something billion leones or so, which is really, really small compared to the amount we need to actually service these debts and also to run a government. What is the nation producing? So we need a society on economy that is private sector led. My experience is mostly with the private sector, having been legal advisor on PPPs, public-private partnership. So I believe that we should create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. Private sector, I mean international private sector, as well as the local private sector. Doing this will create jobs. In a nation where the government is the highest employer, here we have over 80,000 people who are on the government payroll. And this is the largest. There is no company in this country that employs up to 5,000 people. So this creates a burden on the budget. But if we have, no nation will thrive where the highest employer, the biggest employer is government. Now we create opportunities for private sector to come. What will encourage private sector to come? Let's not forget, private people don't come to Sierra Leone to invest just because they like Sierra Leone. Every person who invests their money is looking at a return on their investments, the ROI. They look at these financial models and say, okay, if I go to Sierra Leone, I will make such. If I go to Ghana, I will make such. What is the capex, the capital expenditure that I will use to actually achieve this in Ghana, as well as achieve that in Sierra Leone? So when you look at this, we need to understand that we're in a global village. How can I make myself more attractive for an investor to prevent him from going to Guinea but coming to Sierra Leone? Sometimes I say in this nation we're penny wise and pound foolish. What we do is we tax people. I'll give you an example.
the airport. Because we have a lot to pay for the airport, we have very high airport taxes. Not the ticket fare. The ticket fare is not expensive, but all sort of charges at the airport that makes it so high, so exorbitant, and so not friendly compared to what operates in Liberia and Guinea, you know. So this is why I say it's penny wise and pound foolish. You go to the airport in Guinea, Sierra Leoneans are going there. Other people are going there. You see a lot of flights coming into Guinea because it's cheaper. People prefer to fly from Guinea or to Guinea than coming to Sierra Leone. It's not saying that there are not people flying from Sierra Leone, but the fact is you have more people. And the reason is because we have high taxes. It's the same thing when you come to these investors. I rather give exemptions like this. If you're coming to Sierra Leone to invest $20 million, I would say for the first 5 years, you have tax exemption. If you employ certain number of Sierra Leoneans, if you train certain number of Sierra Leoneans, and after the first 5 years, Sierra Leoneans are at the top management level of that company. If you sign to that, then I will ensure that certain taxes are taken away from you. Look, some people will ask then, okay, you've taken away this tax, where would we get money? Now there's something called PAYE, pay as you earn tax. These people who you're not employing, these Sierra Leoneans, who are not getting even 100,000 leones, now you've created employment for them. The moment you create employment for them, then they start paying taxes. Hundreds of them, 200s of them, 1,000 of them. The taxes that you pay, that they pay, the PAYE that they pay, these are the taxes that will cover for the tax that you're taking away from the investor. You know, at the same time, that's job creation, and job creation includes youth employment, women employment. We also have to think about SMEs, small and medium enterprises. These are the local people. You want to do business in Sierra Leone. Do you have access to finance? You go to the banks, it's not there. The phone that you have on the table there, you bought it 100%. Overseas, you go to the banks or you go to those sellers, these retailers, you pay $10, $15, and you pay through a long time, a period, for you to. But here the burden is on us to actually pay these monies. So there was a time in Sierra Leone where they had higher purchase. If you want to, my dad told me this. If you want to buy vehicles, you do higher purchase. You pay small. You know, if you want other things, you do the same. By that, you reduce the burden on the person. At the same time, you give him or her enough space to be able to invest. The interest rate at the bank is so high. Forget the interest rate, the access. I want to do business. I go to the bank, I borrow money. Before I start doing business, I should start repaying. I will use the loan that I took to start repaying this debt. You know, there's a lot also. We have to encourage a diaspora to come. There's a lot of potential in the diaspora in terms of investment, in terms of education, in terms of ideas. We can bring the diaspora people also. There's a lot. Another one is the decentralization. This is very important. The local council should take responsibility for the development or advancement of their localities. We have a proper local government act in this country, but it's not fully implemented. Like I said earlier, we are not bereft of laws. We have laws, but we do not implement them properly. Now, the local government, for instance, the Bonth City Council, right? For the year, they prepare the budget, they prepare the plan. Once they prepare that plan, whatever should happen in Bonth, like the road construction, schools, electricity, they should take responsibility for it. They should have opportunities to move out, to ask for funds. They should be part of the proper governance infrastructure. So that is how you decentralize development. Well, here, everything happens from the central government.
Do you think you're able to do all of these things?
We can.
People tend to forget.
We can. It's the willingness to do it.
Okay.
And all those things I'm talking about is not like, oh, the government should have billions. I'm not saying, oh, there's the money available. It's just the willingness to do it.
Okay.
These ideas are coming from my heart and from what I've seen and from what I've read and from what I've seen and how I see people fail, how I see governments fail. So if together we can do it, together we can do it. Osman Timbo on his own cannot do it, you know. But at the same time, my engagements across has given me the opportunity to understand people, to know who's fit to be here, who's fit to be there, and to ensure that once we get to power, we reward people based on competence, credibility, rather than paddy business. I'll take one other one, if we have time for that.
Yes, briefly.
Education.
Okay.
Reform of the educational system in Sierra Leone.
In what ways?
I am totally against the 6334 system.
Okay.
I think it hasn't yielded the required benefits. I still feel the old selective entrance, GCO levels prepare us more. You
would reintroduce GCO levels?
Yes.
Okay.
But we'll sit and look at it. But this 6334 has created, has left a lot of people as dropouts. People sit to the NPSC exams, they drop out of school. Those who make it through go to Beke. JSS3, they drop out of school. People go to SSS3, they drop out of school. There's something called a basic education. Everyone should have compulsory basic education as operates in other countries. From primary school to maybe Form 5, the old name. It's compulsory for everybody to go through that. It's not whether you pass, whether you get this grade or whether you get that grade. They should be allowed because you need basic education to move the nation forward. I remember people telling us that Standard 7 people, them years, are better than some people now or pupils now in SSS3. I'm sure you've heard that.
Extremely intelligent, yes.
Imagine that. Because of the education, we need to also reform the curriculum. The curriculum is not proper for the workforce or for the needs of the present day. You go to university now, you still do library studies. With all respect to those who do library studies, it's good. Library studies is good. Why I'm mentioning library studies is, once they graduate, they start to apply for jobs at the banks. How can you be effective if you put in the bank? You go to a laboratories, you have the engineering department, you have pure and applied sciences. How much practical experience are these people getting from those places? How much of artificial intelligence are we introducing? How much of STEM education are we really serious about? So the curriculum has to be looked at. Even the training of teachers. There was a time when you cannot be a teacher if you haven't done TC or HTC. But now what happens is, you have teachers who go to university. Once they're done with university, there's no job, they go to the classroom. Who said because you're a graduate, you'll make a good teacher? They're totally not the same. But here we have graduates who have gone into the classroom without no training to become a teacher. You're dealing with pupils. You're dealing with people whose brains are growing. So you need that training. And it should be continuous training for these teachers, you know. An enhancement.
You would scrap the free quality education anyway? Just wanted to ask
No. So it's part of it. The free quality will continue.
Okay.
This free quality education started from President Kaba's time, continued with President Koroma, and it's been enhanced by President Bio. So it's nothing new, and I feel it's something that we need to continue with, especially also increasing it's the access for women and for children. I mean, for girl child. You know, we have to do that. There's something again on healthcare.
Okay.
You know, up till now we see Connaught Hospital, Cottage Hospital as the major hospitals in Sierra Leone. There's nothing wrong to have these old names as major hospitals, but look at the conditions there. Appalling, right? Not many people want to take their kids or their family members to those hospitals. We can make them better. We can build new hospitals. We should really equip these hospitals. To this day, we're struggling with kidney dialysis machines. To this day, we're struggling with MRI machines, CT scans, etc., etc. These are not impossible things to achieve. So also building new hospitals in every locality. Hospital doesn't have to be a humongous building. It is what is in there that is important. A small building can be enough for a hospital if the equipment, if the staff there, the equipments are good and the staff there are sufficient and efficient. So these are things we have to do. And also, we need a health insurance scheme. Overseas, when someone falls sick, what worries them is how to get well. It's not about how to pay for their medical bills.
NHS.
But here, the moment you fall sick, you begin wonder, hey, who's they pull money? Your family, they begin wonder, who's you go pull money for take care of this? Sometimes people die of this thing than even the sick that is affecting them. So we need a medical insurance scheme. I just spoke about over 80,000 people who are working for government, just government. They should be from those salaries. If it means government is deducting 100,000 leones every month as medical insurance, like they're doing for NACIT and other people, other things, that money can help to cushion. The same with people who are employed in the private sector. And now you have to think about those who are not employed in the private sector. These monies that are raised from this, from these, these people who are working, part of it can go as social project, and government can also subsidize. So when someone falls sick, the basic treatment should be available for you. Later on, we'll find a way how people will pay. We also have to talk about economic diversification. There's a lot of emphasis on the mining sector here. And for me, I feel we need to move beyond that. While mining brings a lot of money, there's a lot of opportunity or potential in fisheries. There's a lot of potential in agriculture. There's a lot of potential in forest, in tourism. We need to see how we can enhance those sectors. We need to see how we can pay attention to those sectors. If you enhance those, you're not depleting the environment. Let's not forget that mining actually depletes the environment. Whatever we get from this will help with the economic situation of the country. We have to think about what percentage we will invest, what percentage we will save for the future generations, not forgetting that some of these resources deplete over a number of years. We have to save for the succeeding generation, etc., etc. We have to think also about, another one has to do with infrastructure. No country develops without infrastructure. Energy, roads, and also planning a new city. For me, I feel we should plan. I did not say we have to complete it. Abuja was not completed in 5-10 years. It was a plan born in the 70s and actually achieved in the 90s.
Which area are you proposing?
Lunge.
Lunge. Okay.
I'll tell you why Lunge. Lunge, we're indebted to the Lunge airport now. It is not a debt that is sitting on government's balance sheet because it's a public-private partnership program. But over $300 to $400 million has to be repaid using the people who actually, so this money has to be recouped from the airport. If we leave Lunge now, unlike the APC was proposing before with the Mamama airport, we go and build another airport. Who's going to pay for the Lunge terminal that was built? The plan behind the Mamama airport was to do an airport city around Mamama. Because we're expecting that with the building of this airport, hotels will come, investments will come around the Mamama area. But now we should not build a new airport again. Rather, let's see how we can make Lunge a proper city. Extend it from the Lunge Basin right up to the Port Loko Township. There's enough land there. It's so vast. At the same time, Lunge is separated from Freetown. It's totally different. Mama is a continuation or like an extension of Freetown. So if you do Lunge, then you know there's an estuary in between. There's a river in between. We don't need a bridge. We don't. It's expensive. Not now. We can have very good ferries to be going 30 minutes across or 1 hour across. That will work if we do the proper engineering work with the jetty on this side and on the other side. And the final one has to do with, it's going to be a woman and youth-led government. I'm a young person and I believe in youth. You're here as a young person too. Junior Ambassador Navo is a young person. See the edifice that he's put together. Most of you people working here, see how much competition you've brought for even the government's broadcaster. See how many other stations have been born because of the work you're doing. So when you empower young people, then you empower a nation. A nation will move forward, new ideas. So for me, my government will have a lot of women as well as young people in it. So these are the 10 things which, because of time, we could have elaborated more on them, but these are the 10 that I want to talk about.
These are beautiful plans, by Mr. Timbo. The question I would love to ask is, I know the political race is becoming intensified by the day, I mean, within the APC, and now you've actually, I mean, how should I say, published your calendar of events leading up to the delegates conference. Are you threatened by any politician who is vying to become the flag bearer aspirants of the APC?
Absolutely.
In any way?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I shouldn't be threatened by anyone. It's a competition, and so far it is a healthy competition, and I want it to continue that way. What I ask for is unfettered access to all districts and to all delegates. Let no one say, oh, Nami get this district. I know they allow anybody for Kamia, you know. So that is what we should encourage. I mean, the National Executive should admonish this district executive to open the doors for everybody. The National Executive should also carry a face of impartiality. And amongst us, I think we've been relating very well. The relationship is way better than people think outside. People think because a number is so large that we are not together, but we are actually together. And for me personally, this was the dream. You know, as the principal draftsman of the APC Constitution, a constitution that reintroduced democracy to the APC, we always wanted a situation where whoever feels they're qualified, let them come into the race, let them be allowed. Because it's only when you allow people to join the race, then they will not fight at the end of the day if there's a free and fair system. So back to the question, I don't feel threatened. I feel they're all my brothers, they're my friends. Some of them, I call them uncles. Some of them I've had a relationship with them since I was a boy. Some of them from university, and we're working very well together. I'm very confident of my chances. I know we're going to shock this nation. I'm doing way more than anybody can see. I've learned over the past 15 to 18 years. I've learned a lot. I've been burnt, so I'm doing things very carefully. I know what I'm doing. I'm not a fool, like I always tell people. So I'm not scared.
Do you think your chances keep increasing or decreasing in any way, getting up to the delegates conference?
I'm going to win the delegates conference.
Okay.
Well, power comes from God. That's sacrosanct. I believe that. If it is my time, it will come to pass. If it's not my time, it will not happen, and I will not be discouraged. I will support whoever emerges as the flag bearer at the end of the day. But there's no way I feel my chances are decreasing. The more I engage with people across the nation, outside this nation, I know that people want a change in leadership. You cannot do things the same way, and expect a different outcome. So for me, I feel people have confidence in my credibility, people have confidence in my composure, people have confidence in my experience and the service that I've rendered to this nation over this past many years.
Barrister, before we go, what will be your departing statements?
My
departing statement, that's right, yes.
Well, firstly, I want to say thank you to you for hosting me, for creating a platform for everybody who is interested in this. I think you've done it not just for me, for several other people. And I want to encourage you and other media houses to do the same, because before I came in, I heard you talking about access to information and all that, and the importance of it. You know, once a level playing field is created, not just intra-party, but even inter-party, and even you people who hold a very important role in this, then I'm sure whatever the results at the end of the day, all of us will be happy. Also, I want to say that for the APC people, we're at a very important juncture where the decision we take now will not only affect the APC, but affect this nation. Once we take this decision, we should put aside sentiments. We should be very dispassionate in assessing the candidates or the aspirants who present themselves for leadership of the APC at whatever level, not just the flag bearer, but even community, ward level, constituency, etc., etc. Because people with power, has a lot of authority to change or to make or to break things. So we should put aside, like I said, sentiments. We should put aside paddy business. We should put aside tribalism. We should put aside regionalism and all those things and look at who's competent, who can win an election. I always say age is not a requirement. Age is not a bar, because once you get to the age of 40, then the Constitution says you're qualified. You have to look at our past records to know whether this person is good or not good. Like Dr. Samuel Kamara said during the presidential debate in 2018, that the problem of this nation, who's responsible for that? His response to that question was that it's government. And that's exactly it. If we choose wrong leaders, then we will have to suffer for the next how many years. So we have to be careful. This is especially for the delegates, because I'm specifically talking to the delegates now, because they have the primary responsibility to choose who will lead the APC moving forward. So with this, I want to say thank you to you once again, and then have a blessed rest of the week.
So stand up, Salon, make we voice echo. Timbo na the church.